Greetings, everyone. It is the TonicMan podcast. Once again, welcome to the call. Thank you very much for being here. Good to see a lot of new people. That's what we need to have on this call, folks. All you newies who do not know the full story just yet. But we have a very special guest that the oldies are going to really appreciate because he is going to talk to us about something that is going to enhance all of your efforts in paying it forward. Remember, over the months, over the years, we've always talked about don't forget your four-legged friends. If you give them the JC tonic, they will have less health issues as they grow. And most people that we know, including our own family, we just put a capful in a big bowl of water and the dogs drink of it. So if you have 2 or 3 dogs or one dog, do that. If it's a very small dog, just put a half or even less in a small bowl of water. Or for the cats, our cats drink from the same bowl that the dogs drink of, so everybody gets their measure. We're kind of full of rescue animals around here, and one of the rescue cats, one of my daughters brought back from college one time that she found on the roadside, and so it's coming up to, 2007, 15, 16 years old maybe, and healthy as can be. The fur is incredible. I think maybe drinking the tonic helped out. So we are encouraging you to do that, but I'm telling you this particularly on this podcast because our guest is going to relate how he got started actually giving it to animals before he even drank it himself. This is a great story. At the end of the call, I'm going to jump back in and I will explain to you what he meant and what it means to you when he was talking about the balancing tonic. And you will maybe appreciate what he says when you hear then what I say, because there's something very interesting for all of you. Not only the oldies, but the newies as well. So on that note, I'm going to bring in our guest. Listen carefully and listen intently, please. And I will see you on the other end. Folks, we have a really great guest tonight who's going to talk to you not only about how JC Tonic has worked for him in his personal life, but also for animals. Well, I'll just let Kim tell you all about it. So, Kim, come and tell the folks all about whatever your experience has been. That would be great.
Okay. Thanks, Anthony. Yeah, my name is Kim Brock. I live in Stillwater, Oklahoma. I've worked for the Animal Science Department at Oklahoma State University for 43 years. And about 4 or 5 years ago, and I think it was more like 4 years ago, a friend of mine named John Stouty, who I worked with at the Swine Center back during those times, or previous to that 4-year mark, asked me, have you started drinking the balancing tonic that Cecil Cotton is selling? And Cecil was a longtime friend through the livestock industry. And I said, no, John, what about it? And so I eventually learned, and Cecil called me, and I started drinking the balancing tonic about 4 years ago. And he was passionate about what he was telling me. And I said, yeah, man, if you believe in it like that, I want to try it. So anyway, I started drinking it about 4 years ago. And at the time that I started drinking it, I'll never forget, I had what they call acid reflux, where if I was eating, not chewing my food well enough, eating dry food, getting in a hurry without drinking enough water or tea as I ate, I would start regurgitating back up. And we'd be at restaurants with our friends, and all of a sudden that would happen to me. And you just almost have to go regurgitate and let your system relax for 30 minutes before you can even attempt to continue to eat. And I had a friend that said, yeah, I had that. I had to have my throat stretched because of that problem. And my wife, she was chewing on my butt nonstop about going to the doctor to get that problem corrected. And I didn't disagree with her, but I'm not a big doctor visitor. It probably should be. But now that I'm on the balancing tonic, the JC tonic, I feel a whole lot better about my overall health. But what I'm trying to tell you about the acid reflux is I didn't do anything different. I didn't go to the doctor. The only thing I did different was start drinking an ounce a day of the balancing tonic, now called the JC tonic. And in about 4 or 5 months, I no longer had that swallowing problem that I refer to, and I think the doctors refer to as acid reflux. So it's made a believer out of me. I'm going to drink it the rest of my life, no question. I drink an ounce a day of it, and I stay supplied by calling Anthony. But it's done more for me than that. I'm 65 years old. Need to probably be about 20 pounds lighter. And I can go all day. And I'm not telling you I can dig a ditch all day with the 20-year-old, but I can go all day and never feel tired, never feel like I'm worn out, need to lay my head down and take a nap. Taking a nap just wouldn't work for me.
Is that part of life prior to drinking the tonic?
You know, Anthony, I can even remember back when I was young and first at my job at OSU, back in my 20s, 30s, 40s. I mean, before I ever started drinking the tonic, I can just remember sometimes after working out in the heat or working outside, I can just remember the thought, man, I'd lay my head right down here on this desk if nobody would catch me, you know. And I don't know why I felt that way. Everybody's a little different, I'm sure, biologically and nutritionally. But I'm just saying that since I started drinking the balancing tonic, I never feel that way. I never feel worn out. I just feel like I can go all day long, and it's not the right feeling for a 65-year-old guy, really. You know, if your sleep habits are better, if you feel better in general, I can guess that maybe you don't feel as worn out. But the other real noticeable thing, Anthony, and I don't really know why this is, but when I grew up in Southwest Missouri, and we drank what they call sulfur water. The sulfur status of the water would almost make it smell like rotten eggs. I don't know if anybody knows about that or not. And I don't know that was why there was a problem. But my mother was a nervous wreck, and I'm kind of a nervous, high-strung go-getter, and I never had any fingernails. Never had any fingernails. And it took a year or so or more to be on the balancing tonic. For the first time in my entire life, I have strong fingernails that have grown like normal people.
Wow.
Like normal people have. And I can pick at them a little bit, but they're strong. I can compared to what my fingernail health used to be, it's not even a comparison because
were your fingernails the way they were because you bit them or because they just never grew?
I would just pick on them. No, I wouldn't bite them as much as I would just pick at them. I just pick at them with my hands, pick at them with something sharp, just pick at them. And but they were so.
Was there ever a nail there?
Oh, yeah, there was a nail there, but I never let them get long enough to be a normal nail. Yeah, there was a nail, but it was thin. And now my nail health is what I would say is normal. They're strong.
And you don't pick at them?
I don't have a tendency to pick at them near as much. And if I do, it's not like I can just peel them off and shorten them real fast with a nervous problem because they're strong nails.
Yeah,
but once again, that's the only thing I've done different. You know, medicine-wise, health-wise, supplement-wise, has been your product, JC Tonic. I'm trying to get my wife to take it. Of course, you had Margaret Walker on your talk show not long ago, and I was the person that told her that her Epstein-Barr virus problem, that she ought to try the JC Tonic, and she called me in 3 weeks and was thanking me to the end of the world because she now feels normal again. And I've just tried to tell a lot of people about it because I believe in it. It's easy to promote something if you believe in it, and that's how I feel about this product, no question about it, Anthony.
Well, if it works, it's even easier to talk about it. And, of course, when Cecil told you about it, it worked on him because he was the biggest disbeliever of anybody. He just refused to believe it. And logically, in this world culture country of ours, it's hard to believe. Why would a product like this do all those things? And in your case, got rid of the acid reflux and grew the nails. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason except it all comes down to better general health of a person's body.
Yeah. And Anthony, I want to interject. I've got a niece that's a medical doctor in the Oklahoma City area. Brilliant young lady. And I asked her when she was wrapping up her medical degree, I said, Andrea, how much did medical school teach you about alternative health and nutrition so maybe your body could, with its own immune system, fight off some of the problems that doctors want to sell you medicine for? And she said, none, zero. And Anthony, that's really sad because, if we take care of our body with the supplements that are there, the herbs and vitamins, and there's so many good things, obviously, in the balancing tonic. But if we give our body a chance to strengthen with natural nutritional supplements and the things that JC Tonic offer, then maybe we don't have to pay the doctors,
Cecil, I don't
It's
know if
sad.
you heard his call recently. He went to his doctor when he was 56 years old, and among other things, they measured the testosterone at 350, and he said, "What do I do to get it higher?" The doctor said, "At your age, it never gets higher, it just goes lower." And Cecil was drinking an ounce a day of the JC Tonic. So he said, "I'm going to show you." He said, "You can do anything you want, Cecil, but it won't go up, it'll just go down." In 1 year, on 2 ounces, it went up to 450. Another year later, on 3 ounces, it went up to 550 or something, and in the 4th year, it went up to 734. Well, each time he told the doctor, and the doctor took the test, he was flabbergasted. He couldn't believe it. And so men of that age are never supposed to get stronger testosterone.
Yeah.
You know, what's going on? Well, what's going on is the body is getting younger, as yours is. Everybody's body is starting to get younger, back to a place where it used to be when it did what it had to do easily to keep you in good repair. But that's hard to explain to people. They have to drink it, they have to stay on it. And how long, by the way, did it take you to get some results when you started drinking it?
Well, I mean, I felt like I felt better, in just a few weeks or a month or two. But I mean, I think it took 3 or 4 months for me to realize, you know what, I don't have that swallowing problem anymore. It's gone. I didn't have to go to a doctor and go to the medical expense to get it corrected.
That long to realize that? Oh, boy. Things change and you just don't really notice. You didn't realize.
Yeah, it did. But, it wasn't that it corrected it in a week or two. But goodness, for what it did for me, it would have been great if it did it after a year, and it did it after a few months, So,
but you to stay on it, if nothing happened in the first bottle or two, you would have stopped using it. Now, I'm not saying that it was going to get rid of your acid reflux, but obviously some other good things must have happened. You must have felt good or pooped better or slept better.
I think in general I was feeling better and sleeping better, and my bathroom habits were probably healthier. I mean, I think there's things like that were small things that kept me encouraged about it.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. After you just told me what you told me about Cecil's story, I'm really kind of pissed off, Anthony.
Well, just boost the dose.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm telling you, man. I'm going to start drinking 3 ounces every day. And I just can't believe you haven't shared that with me before. Of course, I'm not a big computer guy, so I don't see all the information you guys are sending out. But I guess I need to start paying better attention, My wife might be happier with me.
Do you have your email on your phone?
No, I got a flip phone. I don't have enough money.
A flip phone. Well,
you're laughing at me, Anthony. I've helped a lot of people.
I'm just, look, that's what I should have is a flip phone. I'm fiddling with my phone and pressing the wrong numbers all the time. But why don't you phone Cecil and get the story, as they say, right from the horse's mouth? I mean, what a story. But I can get it to you somehow. Where can you listen to it? You get mailed all ever?
Hey, I don't have to hear anything more than what you just said. I believe you. This stuff already helped me. I don't need to spend any more time. I just need to drink more balancing. So
he's not much different age than you. He's 61 now. Not only that, on the phone call, then he had his nephew who was 48 years old, whose testosterone was at 100, and he went through the same thing, and it went up to 750. Imagine. So it's not like one person or a one-off. It is seemingly anybody who drinks enough of this can boost that. So you should go to the doctor first and get the test done and then do it, and then go back in 3 months or whatever it was, a year, and see the difference. But it must change quickly, not just in 1 year. It must go up slowly all through the year and then up more and more and more,
Yeah, well, for something like that, I wouldn't have to have the doctor tell me that it was better.
That it's working. Okay, perfect. So we'll get you on another call when that all happens.
Yeah. Well, you might have to edit that one a little bit, yeah.
Okay. So let's say, as far as you're concerned, in your veterinarian end of your life, you were using the balancing tonic on pigs or on what?
Yeah, I was the swine herd manager at Oklahoma State University for 30 years, and for the last 13 years, I served a different role helping all the farms. But yeah, when I first started taking the tonic, I was in this farm coordinator position. I wasn't managing the farm anymore, but my grandkids and I always had a few pigs, 4-H pigs and show pigs. And so we tried, when we had some unhealthy pigs, we used the balancing tonic in the water typically with those pigs, and we liked the results we saw. Now, we're not as involved in doing that now, but when we were, I was very impressed with what I saw about just the general health of the pigs when they got to drink a little bit of the tonic. And then, I've heard that a local veterinarian that's very, very popular, very busy, very in demand, is also been using this product. And I can't tell you specifically how, but then to hear you and Cecil and others talk about the horse industry and how many people in the horse and in some cases the cattle industry have been using the tonic, it just makes sense. Of course, the biological makeup of a pig is very similar to a human. You talk about heart valves and different things that are used from a pig for human health. At least they used to be, because of the similarity of how the human and the pig were built in a lot of ways. It wouldn't surprise me that the general health of a pig, if they were challenged by different health problems, could be improved with the use of this. And you probably know more about what it's doing to people in the horse industry than I do. But yes, we had good experience, and I want to try to learn more and talk to Dr. Genova, the vet that's local here, about what she's learned from the use of the tonic with livestock.
Well, she was using it on pigs and maybe horses as well, and that would be great if you could reach her and talk with her about it. But I do believe that anybody who has a herd or a flock of chickens or whatever, if they're in the animal business of raising animals for the market and they put this in the water, no matter what it is, all of them would have far improved health, less illness, and in the end it would be far more profitable for them because they would save a lot of money on death and illness and so on. But it's to get somebody to give it that try. I was thinking somebody like Purdue in the chicken business. I mean, if he gave this to the chickens that they raised, they would double their production in no time, It works on anything with blood. If it's got blood, it'll work,
You bet.
Well, Kim, you really did a great overview of all of this. In particular, I'm so happy that you at your age are starting to feel that much better, because in the end, when we're pushing 60 and 70, it starts to become a question of the quality of life and nothing much more. If you have a good quality of life, you sustain and you're happy and you smile. If you're suffering and bent over and taking pills and can't sleep and can't go to the bathroom and can't this and can't that, it just makes life miserable. And I hear those stories nonstop all day long, and it's just so sad to see. And you're right about the doctors. They do the best they can with what they've got, but it never gets to the crux of the matter. It'll cover it up. It'll make the pain go away or change something, but you don't get to the root of why it's happening, which is what indeed the tonic ends up doing. The body will just end up to be a younger, healthier body. So that's what's going to continue happening for you until your sunset years, and I'm so happy that you did start drinking it.
Well, I've told people, and as I tell people about it, I say, hey, I'm going to take it the rest of my life. That's how convinced I am, and here's why. And I use the example of the swallowing problem, and I use the example of Margaret Walker. I mean, Margaret Walker went and paid doctors like attorneys. Paid doctors the rates attorney charges according to what she said, and they had not helped her. Well, they had not helped her because they didn't start with alternative medicine and the kind of supplement that like JC Tonic is that might, in fact, take care of the problem at the core of the problem, So that's an amazing story.
Well, I'm going to have to ask her to see if she went back to talk to the doctors. I hope that she passes that story along to many people, as you too, Kim. Just pay it forward, and we appreciate that, and thank you. And that's all we've ever done since my dad put this on the market commercially in 1943. That's what the story has been, word of mouth. Some people believe, some don't. The ones that try it get results, and the ones that stay on it just get younger and younger and younger. Just now, we did another call last week, and there's a photo of a fellow who started 22 years ago. I mean, Kim, if you can have a look at the photo on your email, it is like, everybody thinks we've used central casting. The fellow looks so terrible, and now he looks like Superman. He looks like a young teenager. He looks so healthy. And
wow.
was drink this over the years. It just got better and better and better. So keep doing it until you're my age. You'll stay young until you're 100.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, I wish I knew about this back when my parents were living so I could have shared it with them. I mean, that's how meaningful it is to me, you know.
That is a great testimony. Now, let's get your wife on it. Maybe you could try again. She should. It'll work for her. Maybe Margaret should talk to her.
Oh, I've asked her to talk to her. She has talked to her. I married a wonderful lady, but she's about as hard-headed as they make them.
Well, I much appreciate your time coming to the call and sharing all this with us. It is really great. Hello again, everyone. As you listened intently, you heard Kim talk about the balancing tonic, and let me explain to you what that is. It's probably 15 years or so ago that my wife had a horse. She's been a rider all her life and a competitor, and she's a horsewoman, and she understands horses. And her horse always had these swollen legs. Tried the vet, the medication, the rubbing, the bandage, name it. Nothing worked. Always the same thing. So I said to her one day, why don't you try the tonic, see what happens? So she said, why not? And lo and behold, within 2 to 3 weeks, the horse never had those swollen legs ever again. I mean, holy cow. Well, the first thing is that her pals that she rides with all noticed the first thing. They said, what did you do? And so Paulette told her what she did. And so they all said, we want to try it for ours. Do you think it'll work for this? Do you think it'll work for that? I have this problem. I have that problem. The vet can't seem to find anything. They've tried everything, on and on and on. Well, that's the story of horses all day long. No matter where you are, no matter what barn you're in, they're always needing some kind of care. And so she said, sure, I'll get you some and you can give it a try. And they all loved it and they all wanted her to make it available for horses. So she started her business in the horse industry, and she calls her product the Balancing Tonic, and it's sold in a gallon because you need at least 3 weeks to 4 weeks before you see something happen with a horse. And at 2 to 3 ounces twice a day, you need a gallon for a month. So it was packaged in a gallon, and Kim used that on pigs, as you heard him speak about. And one of his associates at the university veterinary end of the business decided to do it wasn't a research in the strict sense of the word, but he took a number of pigs, I think 50, and gave them the tonic in their water, but not in the rest of the pigs. And those pigs were less ill, were more healthy, got sick less often, if not at all. And there is a report and an overview of that research on our animal website. And that is called thebalancingtonic.com. And you're all welcome to go and have a look. The reason that we wanted Kim to talk about the Balancing Tonic and then the JC Tonic, well, he drinks the JC Tonic now because he's retired and he started trying the Balancing Tonic and it did him a world of good and he wanted to continue, so we just made him into another member just as you all are for the JC Tonic. But in his time trying the tonic and the Balancing Tonic, it was gotten out to a lot of people who raise pigs for show pigs and show lambs and goats and steer. So there are a lot of people in Texas and Oklahoma and other states that have been using it for that purpose. And of course, they don't need a gallon to see results. They're like a human. They need an ounce or two a day. But they all had this remarkable turnaround. You can see some photos of championship steer and pigs on the website. It was amazing. The animals were like so much more healthy than the rest of the competitors. So that's just to show you that, of course, we're all the same. As long as there's blood in us, this tonic will work. So it works on the animal, either your cat, your dog, or look, do you know people in your part of wherever you live in the U.S. that have horses? I mean, there are barns all over the place. There must be 5 million horses that we don't even know about. So go for it and talk to them. If you need help to explain how it works, if anybody's interested, we can speak to the people directly and explain how to use it, what to do, although it tells you on that website how many ounces and so on to give. But that is a thing that we can do for you to help you get that person going on the balancing tonic. Now, if you start to sell a 32 ounce to people and they try it, say, on a horse or an 800-pound steer, it's not going to work because it's not enough. It's not long enough. So if you do the 32 ounce, you'll be making a grave mistake. You have to get those animals going by the gallon so that the people know you got to finish the gallon. It's the same as the humans. If you take an ounce every 3 or 4 or 5 days, don't expect it to work. If you take an ounce every day, it's going to work. A horse needs anywhere from 2 to 3 ounces in the morning feed and in the evening feed. It's a big animal. There's a lot of work to do, a big circulatory system. So if you want to try your hand at it, and you know people who are in the animal business, you could even go to Purdue and we could do a test on his chickens and watch and see he'll have less sick chickens and more productivity. Doesn't matter the animal. It's the fact that they have blood. So if you want to have a look at it, you need more explanation, give us a call. We'll get back to you and go over everything. If you have people in or around your neighborhood that have horses, you're in horse country somewhere, or pig country, or lamb country, or goat country, or steer country, they are all candidates for this. And in their cases, you probably will see results much more quickly than with a horse. We have a lot of great testimonials from people who did use it on their animals, so those are available as well. Okay? So there we are. Thank you very much for being here on this call, and we look forward to the next one. In the meantime, give us a call, let us know how we can be of some help, and don't forget, when you take an ounce, you feel the bounce. Thanks, everybody, and bye for now.
Uric Classic Whole Body Tonic is a dietary supplement, not a drug. Therefore, it is useful to affect the structure and/or function of your body in various ways, but it is not intended to and will not cure, mitigate, treat, or prevent any disease. Individual testimonials may not be everyone's experience and do not constitute scientific evidence. Uric Corporation does not make any drug or treatment claims for its product.